That's what I'm talking about. Welcome.
All right.
Altitude After Dark, Altitude Football. DMac with Coacher, Mike Sanford, Vic Lombardi will join us in about 15 minutes. He's
Salty Vic, maybe.
I'm not sure what he's going to
be. I don't know. Some type of Vic Lombardi, for sure.
He's got something to get off his chest about the Nuggets, so we'll get there in a little bit. But we got to talk Combine, and we're brought to you by Journey Spice, where you can save 10% on all products using the code Altitude26. That code has changed. So no matter what the meal is, they have the processing, they have the machines, they have the za'atar, they have the savory garlic, they got the Moroccan spice, they got the KC barbecue rub, Mediterranean. What do you need? Singles, doubles, quads. It's flavor in, plastic out with the best organic spices that you can ever see in your life. More on Journey in just a little bit. All right, Coacher. The Combine. I just want to start with the freak show, okay? Because that's what we're all about. And it's Kenyon Sadiq. And, I mean, we'll just look at some of these numbers right here, bro. Like, where do you want to start?
Well, first off, before we get into the numbers, let's just talk about kind of like, I know you are known as a gym selfie guy. And your physique is very comparable to Kenyon Sadiq's physique.
Yeah.
Like, have you taken pictures before in, say, the gym, in the bathroom mirror? Yeah. And you just, all you see staring back at you on that phone is basically Kenyon Sadiq minus the Oregon jersey number 18.
In order for me to take a photo of myself in a bathroom mirror, I'd have to take the towels off the mirrors first. So that hasn't happened in a long time. But, you know, Sadiq has grown, my friend. Look at like Sadiq wasn't like this coming out of high school. It's actually kind of amazing, like, what he's done. Same height, but he's put on 20 pounds. He's, 3/10 faster. He's quicker. He can jump way higher. Look at his explosion. When you look at his broad jump and his vertical, that's actually the most impressive thing with that height. He's become way more powerful and strong and athletic, Coach.
Yeah, and gosh, we look at a 17-year-old Kenyon Sadiq out of Idaho Falls, Idaho, by the way. Talk about a unique path to get to University of Oregon and becoming tight end 1 in a draft. Idaho Falls, Idaho is not necessarily that spot that you think about. But 10 foot 1.5 inch broad is pretty dumb in terms of high numbers, regardless. Like, you love a 10 foot broad for any, big skill player, a linebacker, a tight end, an edge rusher, 10 foot plus. You're feeling pretty dang good, but you see 11 foot 1. Holy smokes. Well, here's the deal, man.
And let's do a little comparison here.
Yep, please do.
This is Sadiq to Brock Bowers, who is the cat's meow. Check that out, my friend.
Yeah,
Check that out.
In terms of testing and just pure physical specimen, genetic freak, Kenyon Sadiq has the title. It ain't even close. Where did Brock Bowers get picked? Well, famously at number 13.
Number 13.
So here's what I have to tell you. With the 40 time that is 0.14, so nearly 1.5 tenths of a second faster than Brock Bowers, the Denver Broncos at pick 30 can say goodbye to their good friend Kenyon Sadiq. And we all can say hello, my little friend, to Eli. And do you know the pronunciation of his last name? Eli?
We're talking about Eli Stowers.
Yes, I'm glad you did your homework. A lot of people are throwing out Eli Stowers, and probably a few of our competitors out there in the radio space are going to say Stowers. It's Eli Stowers, because while that 4.51 might pale in comparison to the 4.39, I want to tell you a little bit about Eli Stowers. And I'm not saying that you're necessarily going to pick him up at pick 30, but a 4.51 40 is pretty dang impressive. What is more impressive, if you would pull up that Kenyon Sadiq graphic of his full overall numbers.
Yeah.
So Kenyon Sadiq had a 43.5 inch vertical.
Yeah.
Eli Stowers, 45.5 inch vertical.
Yeah, unbelievable.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Vince Carter famously jumped 44 inches and everybody thought it was the greatest thing in the history of human athleticism. And now you have a tight end who, by the way, Eli Stowers, very interesting about him. He was a 5-star recruit quarterback to Texas A&M University. Did not work out. He ended up transferring to New Mexico State, where he also became a quarterback. And you knew who saw something in him special. It was none other than Jerry Kill, head coach at New Mexico State University, who left
Very cool.
Vanderbilt. He brought 2 players with him of note. He brought Diego Pavia to play quarterback for him. Obviously, 5'8" Diego Pavia that had, by the way, he looked really good throwing the football. I know he's not going to be a first-round pick, but still a fun player. And then also he brought Eli Stowers and he projected him. Hey, guys, this guy's not a quarterback per se, but my goodness, he can be a tight end. And I think Eli Stowers could be a phenomenal addition for Sean Payton. And think about it. He runs great, 4.51. There's nobody currently in the Broncos tight end room that probably runs better than 4.7. You got the video right there.
I do. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me straighten some things out here. Yeah, here we go. This is what you want to look at. We'll just put this on repeat for a little bit.
And first off, you could see the body type and even just kind of the look in his eyes. He looks like a quarterback. Does he not?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But he looks like a quarterback that's got some serious jumps.
I mean, what are we talking about?
And then do you realize that he had the broad jump, which is a 10-foot, once again, is a great standard. He went 11'3" on the broad, and then 4.51, and he's a 6'4", 239-pound prospect. So what I like about him for Sean Payton is Sean Payton loves versatility. In addition to that, he loves the fact that a guy like Eli Stowers could ultimately be a quarterback on the field because he played the position, and so could play H-back, could play inline tight end, could be a big slot, could be outside. So you better get to know the name Eli Stowers, because that could be a name that's called for the Denver Broncos, and that's one that I'm excited about.
I absolutely love it, Coacher. That's fantastic. It's too bad because I got a bunch of other stuff about Kenyon Sadiq. But
hey, listen, we can glaze Kenyon Sadiq and
glaze it for a little bit for fun and just
you know what's fun is.
Go ahead. You can talk. Oh, I cut Mike off for whatever reason. He's muted. So hold on a second.
Right here. Can you hear me?
There you go. I got you.
What I love about Kenyon Sadiq and while we're working on our scouting report here is that we can prepare to hear his name called at pick 9 for the Kansas City Chiefs, because that's the perfect heir apparent to Travis Kelce. And that's the one thing that's great about the Chiefs. If you're in their position right now, you love that you suck this year. You love that you can go out and pick somebody that can really help Patrick Mahomes in his after the intermission of his first act of his career.
Let me give you some more Sadiq. Just watching him run. Oh my God. It's fantastic. But like you're saying, there's probably no hope that we get Sadiq at this point.
Cam, who's got it? Oh, we have.
Is Bijan going to pull this out?
Oh my God. Sadiq
against
Bijan Robinson.
Oh my gosh.
Christian McCaffrey.
Get out of here.
Woo. This isn't even fair, man.
Okay,
this is right? Ridiculous. I loved this breakdown here. Okay, So mind you, what position does Kenyon Sadiq play?
Tight end.
Okay, so his 40-yard dash time was a 4.39, which is 0.04 seconds faster than the combine time of Odell Beckham. What position does he play?
He's a tight end.
His 10-yard split, meaning when you look at his first 10, ability to accelerate, was a 1.54. You want to know what Deshaun Jackson's was in the combine? 1.55, known as one of the most explosive, dynamic, quick athletes in the history of pro football. His vertical jump was 43.5 inches, which is 5 inches better than Julio Jones, one of the best 50-50 go up and grab the football players in the history of the National Football League. And of course, his broad jump at 11 feet 1 was a good inch better than one of the best receivers in terms of explosive broad jump testing at the combine, and Andre Johnson of the Houston Texans. What are we doing?
But you're saying, let's go get this dude.
Eli Stowers, because this guy right here, that's a pipe dream, fellas. That's a pipe dream, gals.
That's a pipe dream, but this is reality.
Better learn the pronunciation. It's Stowers, not Stowers.
All right. So what round is that?
I think you could potentially. Gosh, it's going to be interesting. So the thing that's interesting is that Eli Stowers was actually a higher volume pass catcher for Vanderbilt than Kenyon Sadiq was for Oregon. Now he, as a red zone threat, as a red zone target, Kenyon Sadiq was superior, touchdown maker, all that. But 69 catches this past year for Eli Stowers, still growing into the position. I think he is. I wouldn't say he's more proven, but I do think that there are some mocks that end up having Eli Stowers working his way into the first round. And I'm not to the point yet with the player because my film study, I'm going to give a Dan Orlovsky, I'm going to give the half film study and say that I only watched the first 8 games, but didn't watch the remaining part of the season. What I've seen of Eli Stowers is that he's a guy that I think would be able to plug and play into a whole bunch of roles that Sean Payton would enjoy using him. And more importantly, Davis Webb would enjoy using, who, by the way, played what position? He's quarterback.
Quarterback. I'm winning this quiz. All right, let me give you some other stuff here. Where do I want to go? I'll go to the funny stuff in a second. But let's look at some other names here. Running backs.
There were some fast running backs, brother.
Yeah, I saw that on average, they're better than ever.
Yep.
On average, these athletes and their metrics are better than they've ever been as a group. So here are the running backs. You got to look at Jadarian Price, right? You got to be kind of curious about him.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It was interesting because I was, noted Notre Dame fan Vic Lombardi was talking about Jadarian Price, that every time he touched the football is an explosive. He's not wrong. I mean, the guy's an explosive player. But boy, isn't it wild that his 40 time is nearly 0.15. It's 0.13 seconds slower than the bell cow and Jeremiah Love. I'll tell you what, man, Jeremiah Love made himself he made himself top 10 money, didn't he?
Yeah, he's not coming here. I mean, it's okay. But what about these other guys though? I mean, I know it's not all on your 40, but let's look at some of these names and you tell me. We talked about tight ends. Okay, fine. And we'll get to wide receivers here in a second. But which of these running backs kind of stood out to you?
On film, it was Jadarian Price.
Okay.
The hard part, man, for a lot of these backs, a lot of it, they're great testers, and that doesn't always equate to being a great player.
Okay.
And so the most well-rounded back not named Jeremiah Love was somebody who shared reps and or shared a backfield at Notre Dame, and that's Jadarian Price. And that's not just recency bias. Eli Heidenreich, I went to Army Navy this year, and I didn't notice a running back that was getting run a 4.44. That's for sure. There was nobody on that field that felt like they were running a 4.44. So, there's something to be said for play speed and what you show on film versus what you run at the combine. So I like the running back group, but I think it's going to end up being Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price and kind of everybody else.
All right, here is this guy Jonah Coleman. This is actually just kind of funny, and he knows his place in the world.
Tony, you talked a little bit about your mentality in pass protection. Why was it important for you to develop that?
You're not gonna play if you can't pass, bro. It's simple. You can't play if you ain't gonna protect the quarterback. I'm paying him $100 million. You getting paid, $2 million. Who more important? And that's a part of being selfless, part of the game. And you have to be wanting to pick up pass pro. You got to be wanting to do that. You can't. It's no technique. It's technique, but at the end of the day, it's a dogfight, and it's a dogfight. You got to bring that mentality in there that I'm gonna kick your butt and protect my $100 million quarterback.
Is that the heir apparent to Tyler Bidet here in Denver? That sounds like a guy that he knows. He knows exactly who he can afford to be, because frankly. Hey man, I'm protected for my $150 million quarterback in Bo Nix in 2 years. Yeah, that's the reality of what you might be staring at. So
pretty funny. Let me go through some wide receivers quickly before we're joined by Vic Lombardi. Brennan Thompson, man, this guy it's fast.
Holy smokes.
He is fast. Phil's pretty impressive too, but it's so weird in college. They're so open. They're just, I don't know. It's hard to judge, but he's fast. Ain't no doubt about it. Speed wise. Anybody else jump off the page for you here?
Well, and in that list right there, I mean, Trey Lance's brother, Bryce Lance, is a bigger body type that ran 4.34, which is actually
Impressive.
Pretty dang impressive. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, Sean Payton's probably not going to go for one of these speedsters. Think Xavier Worthy. Think Matthew Golden. He wants. I mean, these are the kind of guys that have run extremely well in the last couple of years. And Xavier Worthy ran that crazy time, and Matthew Golden ran one last year. Those are kind of the undisputed champs of the 40-yard dash. Bottom line, man, like in the NFL, if you're little, it's hard to be consistently productive. Just look at those two guys. Early careers.
Yeah,
the early returns on those players. So you got to be careful. And I know Sean Payton himself is way ahead of the curve in terms of not falling in love with just 40 times with littler guys. Zechariah Branch is a really interesting player. Do you remember him? He came on the scene about 3 years ago. His first few touches out of Bishop Gorman to USC were like 80-yard dynamic touchdowns, punt return, kick return, and everybody fell in love with this player. He ends up transferring to Georgia. But once again, he's more of a Marvin Mims Jr. type, and the Broncos don't need that player. And frankly, in that list that you're looking at right there, probably outside of Bryce Lance, who I don't know that he's a full skill set player that would be worthy of a first pick. I don't think that you have a Bronco in the first round or the second round, most likely in that list of 40-yard dash times.
All right, quarterbacks. I'm just going to put up.
Taylor.
I mean, I'm only putting him. He's 6'6", by the way.
I know he's an interesting player, man. I watched him because he went to my alma mater. I had a chance to watch him in person and at multiple games. I watched him start against CSU. Actually, the wild CSU game that came down to a bunch of onside kicks and a Hail Mary is how CSU won that game.
Remember that, yeah.
And Taylor Green was a quarterback. You want to talk about a guy that just I have no idea why, but he was kind of run out of Boise, Idaho. Not only did he run the 4.36 40 at 6'6", what was he? 212 pounds or 218 pounds or something crazy.
Yeah.
He had broad jumps and vertical jumps that weren't quite Kenyon Sadiq or Eli Stowers, but were right in that conversation.
It was up there. It was interesting. And it makes me wonder, does he just become a
tight end?
A different athlete in the NFL? Do you just draft him to do something else?
Draft him as a weapon. I mean, I'll say this. I mean, he's got an absolute howitzer, but it's a long throwing process, man. It's a little bit of a glitched throwing process. I loved him when he was at my alma mater. I was actually really upset that he never really had the chance to fully develop at Boise State, but he's a guy that could be really an interesting prospect. That once again, what does Sean Payton love? He loves big.
Yeah.
Does he not? He loves big at the receiver and tight end position. He likes long. So that could be interesting.
There was an article today. I don't know if you caught it. They're moving on from J.J. McCarthy. And that's going to set all sorts of weird things in motion. And I'll give you a weird one.
Minnesota is.
They're moving on from JJ. And so
are they cutting them?
I don't know if they're cutting him, but the word is I don't know if they're cutting him, but they're looking now. You're looking at Tua. You're looking at Geno. You're looking at Kirk Cousins. I mean, they may be death spiraling towards the Pittsburgh Steelers philosophical approach to quarterbacks, which is dangerous. So I don't recommend it. That's for sure.
No, gosh. Do you think are the Vikings wrong to give up on JJ McCarthy already?
No, they know him as good as well. I mean, if it ain't your guy, rinse and repeat. But speaking of somebody who is our guy, and we don't want to spend too much time away from him, but let me get to David Adelman, and we'll bring on Vic Lombardi.
Yeah, I mean, the start, I thought we let struggles offensively, missed shots, turn into horrendous defense. That run was, I believe it was in 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Told them after the game, that's just inexcusable. I thought we were very competitive throughout the night, but not during that, like I said, that 2 minutes, and that can lose you a game against a really good team. So we gave them life. I really thought it was us, not them. And it's just something we have to learn from. I have to find a unit that'll actually do it, compete at a higher level, because to me, that was the game. Then I had to extend minutes, and I'm playing guys into the ground that I can't do that, especially with the way the schedule's been very dense, and we go into another back-to-back. So just need more from everybody. We talked about that in the locker room, and we'll get our opportunity tomorrow.
Vic Lombardi, What do you want to say? Oh, we had Vic. We'll get him back. I promise you.
His apple.
Wait, he went out.
Exploded. He's back in. He's back in the studio.
Yeah, get him
There
here.
he is.
He's got his apple going.
How come I can't hear you guys?
I don't know. We can hear you.
I hear you, man.
We got you.
Vic, you there, buddy?
That's on your end, Vic. He's got his apple.
Why is everything freezing?
Oh, we're good.
Why
Yeah,
do I hate
you look
computers? Why do I
good.
hate technology. Why?
All right. I'm going to do something, Coach. You hang in there. I'm going to just refresh everything on my end and see if it makes a difference. Okay, here we go. Tell Vic.
Hey, Vic, you got me?
Unreal.
Can you hear me?
I'm there, but
Can you
everybody
hear-
else is frozen.
I'm frozen.
Let me try that again.
Oh, there. It's just me now.
All right. So I have refreshed.
Now you're all muted. Okay. Okay. I like what you did there.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
I
me?
hear you.
Okay, you got me. Okay, good.
I hear you. Vic is gone to purgatory.
Vic is gone.
He is in Streamland purgatory.
Well, hopefully Vic can come back. I'll give him a quick text here. Okay, I think he's back. Let's hopefully this works.
Check.
How about
Check.
this, Vic? You got us?
Mic check. 1, 2.
Can you hear it? Can you hear us? Well, it's something on your end. It's something I'm
Let me
sending
get
him a
off this.
text.
He says we're frozen.
It's something. Well, in case you had any doubts that this was live.
You know what this actually feels like right now? It feels like watching quarters 2 through 4 right now for the Denver Nuggets.
I'm here now.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
something going on with StreamYard on my computer. Every
What's up?
time I go to StreamYard on the computer, this is on my phone.
Okay.
Oh,
When I
interesting.
go on the computer, you guys are frozen. I need the world to stop advancing so I can catch up and figure what the shit is going on. I can't do this every time.
I think you can, Vic. I think you're more than capable.
We do have you now. So, Adelman, let me just recap, okay? It's unacceptable. I was playing guys in rotations. I didn't want to. Cam Johnson has an ankle injury. Okay. And Jokic, when asked if everybody's healthy, how do you feel, was like, I don't know. How are we supposed to know? Meanwhile, Jamal was actually pretty optimistic about that. But Vic, the floor is yours. I know you want to get something off your chest about the Nuggets. What you got?
Well, Jamal is always optimistic. We've learned that over the years. You know, he's sort of like the Von Miller of the team. Everything's hunky-dory. Everything's going to be fine, which is great. I mean, I love optimism. It's sort of the opposite of me, to be honest with you. Joker's more the pragmatist. He basically said, no, we got some issues going on right now.
Yep.
And you could sense it in his voice. You could sense it in what he said. I thought it was really revealing. And by the way, DMac, thank you. For those that don't understand, DMac goes to all these games and gets all the sound. I mean, nobody works harder than Darren McKee. And I'm not just saying that because you're here. I've gone on the record saying that. So thank you for getting that today.
Appreciate it.
Because it's really cool that you're doing that. So I'm listening to Nikola Jokic.
You get all of it too. When I do, I don't edit anything out. There's not, and sometimes TV, there's constraints and whatever it is, it comes out.
So he's talking, and at one point, and I thought this was the most revealing thing he said during his press conference. He said, you know, maybe it's good that we're worrying. Maybe it's good that we're at this point because guys will start playing hard. And I'm thinking to myself, it is March, and you got guys who aren't playing hard. You're in the throes of a division conference race. You're trying to pick up a number 3 seed at worst. I think the number 1 and 2 seed are gone, right? I mean, I think we can all agree. Yeah, they're gone.
Oh man, you better learn playing, buddy. I mean, we're getting close,
so
dangerously close.
So your best bet right now is if you could pick up the pieces and get that 3 seed, that'd be great. But hearing Nikola Jokic say that maybe it's time we start worrying so guys can play harder, really, that hit me wrong. And it sort of pissed me off. I mean, why
You
would
know
you
what?
have
I
to?
actually hold on. Let me play it.
Yeah,
Let me play parts of what Jokic said here, and we can comment on it. Here we go.
This is the first time you guys have fallen out of the top 4 in the West in months, I think, really. Well, how would you kind of describe just where you guys are at as far as the mood in the locker room? Do you still sort of feel a confidence through sort of the choppy stretch that this has been in, or where's kind of the mentality?
I mean, I think it's a good thing to happen, you know, and then you're going to start worrying and you're going to start care probably more. I think the struggle is good, you know. If you fail, I think it's good. It's just going to keep you worried, I will say, and then you're going to play a little bit harder and better.
Do you think you guys have enough time left in the regular season to find the best version of yourselves and get healthy?
Hopefully. Hopefully we do.
Kind of on that note, Nikola, how much confidence do you have in this team when it is healthy and you have the complete roster?
I mean, we will see. You know, we are not healthy probably the whole season, and we will see. Are we going to be healthy? Because it seems like every time something happens. But I think we are fighting. I think we were in the game in every game that we play since All-Star break. So, we will see. We can go out there and give our best and hope give our chance to win a game.
Ooh.
Hey, that's pretty honest there, Vic.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
As I'm listening to him talk, perhaps this run, because everybody's like, woe is me, look at their schedule. They got the hardest schedule. Well, that just means that they had an easy schedule to start with. So it balances out. Oh my gosh, 9 of the next 10 are so difficult. But bottom line is, if you want a look in the mirror of what the playoffs are going to be like, this is what the playoffs are going to be like. You're going to see OKC. You're going to see the likes of Minnesota. You're going to get the Lakers. You're going to get the New York Knicks. You're going to get these tough teams.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you bang your head against the wall against these teams right now. And it's not like they're getting blown out. So let's make that clear. It's not they're not going into these games and getting run off the court. They're right there. They have a chance to win these games. They're just missing some key pieces here and there. My biggest concern, guys, is I really believe that the Nuggets' confidence is key late in games. It's taken a big hit this year.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a woozy boxer, right? Who's used to winning. Remember Mike Tyson when the fights got past the 3rd or 4th round and he'd start, this should be over by now. Remember that? That's sort of like the Nuggets late in games are doing things that I have not seen them do in years. The turnovers are ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're just a joke.
Hey, guess how many
Aaron,
turnovers?
real
Quick. Guess how many turnovers they had in the first quarter when they had a 9-point lead?
One.
Yeah. One turnover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They actually they played great in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then it was so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it was you got 2 points out of 39 minutes between Cam Johnson and Julian Strother.
What the hell is that, Mike Sanford?
What did you just talk about? A woozy boxer?
Yeah.
You remember one of the absolute greatest video games of the 1980s, the 1990s?
Joe? Punchy Joe or what?
Glass Joe right there, boys.
Glass Joe.
Do the Denver Nuggets as a team collectively, does their swagger appear to be a little bit like Glass Joe?
That might be. You just mentioned the turnovers. A lot of that is also reliant on the opposition. I think early in games, the opposition doesn't lock in like they do in the fourth quarters. In the fourth quarters of these games, these opposing defenses are becoming more connected and they're pushing out a little more. And the Nuggets are not handling that well. No one is. And that's everybody. It's not one or two players. Everybody's committing turnovers, even their 2 all-stars. So that's something that they have to clean up. I just don't want to go down this road. I really, for Nuggets fans listening right now, not all is lost. I'm not painting that picture. Okay. That's not the case at all. They can turn this around. They've had an injury-plagued season. They can.
Yep.
But what I don't want to paint is, here come AG and P. Watt and all is well. No. This is a deeper issue. It's rooted in confidence, and their confidence has taken a hit. So will these 2 guys being back in the lineup help them regain that confidence? late in games? Because they're doing fine early in games, but late in games, they're swimming upstream. That's what I'm worried about.
Vic, I tweeted at you, we're going to have a special appearance from a disgruntled Nugget fan named Vic Lombardi. And you responded, I'm not disgruntled. I'm constructive. And you said, I will rebuild them.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to let you rebuild us. But before we do that, the coach in me sees what happened in a wonderful basketball game against Oklahoma City with what I thought was going to be a turning point moment where Lou Dort did, I think, one of the most inexplicable things to a superstar that recently is battling a potential major knee injury. And you could say it's soft or not. It was intentional. It was as bad as you can get. And the Nuggets fought. And the Nuggets saw their superstar show more emotion, more raw emotion than they've probably seen in his entire career as a Denver Nugget. And what happened after that point, and then what happened subsequently in another game following against another massive opponent that you've had issues with, is that you have ultimately been outpunched.
Yeah. Well, he needs somebody to come along for the ride. He can't be the only one showing emotion. Emotion's got to come from the collective, right? It's much harder to go 5-on-1, and we're going back into that routine. DMac, we know this routine all too well, the non-Jokic minutes. Look what happened at the beginning of the second quarter. That's where the game was lost. If you're wondering where the game was lost today, it wasn't lost at the end of the game. You're spending the entire game trying to get back in it because you vomited all over yourself in the first 2-3 minutes of the second quarter. It was awful. I mean, they didn't come to play. Even Adelman said it.
I got it right here.
Inexcusable. Please play it.
I got that, but I have the rotation stuff right here.
I did tonight, and just from what happened in OKC, I mean, it's 3 of the 4 times they were both off the court. And I will say this: throughout the season, we've been really good doing that. Obviously Cam's ankle was really hurting him tonight, and throughout the early part of the season, we ran our offense through Cam and Tim. And it was really successful. Right now, there's not a lot of flow to it, so I'm going to have to force feed those guys minutes until we get full again. Where there's more options to bring guys off the bench. It's not what I want to do. I like them to play together. I don't like when I'm taking minutes away from them not being on the court together. But if we have to do it, then we'll do it because this can't happen. It's happened 2 games in a row, and it's cost us big time. Quick, 12-0, 12-2, 11-2, 11-0, whatever it is. It can't happen in this high level of a game. So we'll have to talk about it, and I will explore whoever is healthy, whoever is playing tomorrow. We'll try to find a group that will compete and play at a higher level.
Coach. He's saying there, I don't want to split up Joker and Jamal. I don't want to do that, but I'm not having much of a choice here, and I'll experiment. I'll try anybody here to see what's what. And listen, you're playing bottom feeding, tanking Utah tomorrow. You have no excuses.
No.
You've got to win this game.
DMac, Utah wants to lose. Utah wants to lose.
Right.
If you lose to a team that wants to lose, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah. Here's the other thing, too, that's problematic to me. And Coach Adelman just mentioned that. And you know what? He's got to be part of the fix as well. It can't be just the players. So he's got to push the right buttons. Like in Oklahoma City, I really thought that Bruce Brown should have gotten more minutes down the stretch because he's a sandpaper type of player, and that's what they needed. So there's things that you see during the course of a game, and you can bang your head against the wall with different rotations. Some work, some don't. I mean, today, look how many different rotations he went through that they just didn't produce. Although Jalen Pickett came in and gave him some good minutes, that was, what happened to Julian Strother? He went through a 6-7 game stretch where he was great, and then now it's just not working. I mean, what has happened to Cam Johnson? Why is he so unwilling to shoot the ball? That to me is the most disturbing thing. If Cam's got an injury, fine. Then I can't criticize an injured player. Then you can't play, and he may not play tomorrow night. But it doesn't excuse missing a wide open 3 at the end of regulation in Oklahoma City.
Right.
It does. It just doesn't. You've got to be willing to shoot, and you could tell right now that they've got a lot of guys unwilling They don't want the ball in their hands. And so what happens now? Jamal and Joker have to take over all of that.
It was
And that's
today
hard,
50,
man.
was it 54 combined shots between the two of them?
That's hard.
Up there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then Hardaway, he'll shoot. He'll come
Oh,
off
yeah.
the bench.
And he's
He
been
doesn't care.
fantastic. He's been a great revelation.
I mean, am I off here? Look, nobody wants to shoot the ball.
It's those three. I mean, in recency bias, I'd say it's Nikola Jokic. And even then, there's times where Nikola hasn't been ultimately aggressive.
Can I tell you something that was painful today, too? Guess who didn't hesitate to shoot the ball? Bones Highland. And it was just like, oh, my God.
You know,
I mean,
you lost a game to Minnesota. When I looked at the box score, I shook my head. You lost a game in which Anthony Edwards was held to 21 points. He didn't rock anything. He had 21 points.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything crazy. If you had told me before today that Anthony Edwards is held to 21, Nuggets win by 10 or 15, I'm confident of that. What the hell is going on?
Well, here's what happened, too. Here's what happened, too. Let me tell you. Let me give some credit.
Yeah.
That crowd today was on fire. Like, it was like, man, they were doing their best as an audience to will the Nuggets back into this bad boy. But every time I heard the crowd get fired up, I kept looking up at the scoreboard. I'm like, still down 8, still down 9, maybe 7. Oh, it's back to 9, still down 8. And if you look at the box score, I think the Wolves won by 1 just in the second half. So after the second quarter, you know, listen, they blew them out in the first quarter. It was even in quarters 3 and 4. But like Adelman said, we gave up like 4 runs of like 12-0, 11-0,
especially in that second quarter, man.
14-2 or whatever. It's like,
you know what I don't
are
want
we
to hear?
doing?
What bothers me is when I hear people say, well, the crowd's got to get the team into it. That's not how it works. It's the other way around.
No.
The crowd doesn't do that.
Guys.
The team gets the crowd into it.
Well, that wasn't the case today.
I mean, that's just the most ridiculous sense I've ever heard. Oh, the crowd was down. The crowd really didn't help them. Help them do what?
Vic.
You know what? They've had 146 straight sellouts. What more do you want out of your crowd? The
Vic,
crowd
think
is
about,
there. They
think about it this way. How much money did the 8 or 9 players for the Denver Nuggets actually make in terms of just the game they played tonight?
Yeah. I don't want to hear about crowds. That's the
crowd pays the money.
Excuse. Yeah.
The crowd pays money to be there.
I'm glad we're on this topic. And you know, it's funny because people don't like me talking about this, and I don't know why. I got into it with your boy Demps on this after a post-game show. He didn't see, you know, I guess he doesn't see the problem. You can't be in Denver, Colorado when you're striving for a championship. You cannot be 16-12 at home.
No.
They won their first 6 home games, came out of the gates dominant, won their first 6. Since those first 6 home wins, they're 10-12 at Ball Arena. You can't do that. I don't care what it. Oh well, look at their road. I don't care. If you want to win a championship, you have to dominate at home. And being near 500 is a problem. That's a problem. You got to fix it, and they haven't.
Vic, I'll tell you what I see when I watch David Adelman's post-game pressers. They start piling up, accumulating. It's one press conference after another. Feels like you're getting into that Groundhog's Day world of another loss, another bad run, another bad second quarter, a bad third quarter in different runs, and then a fourth quarter you didn't close out. And he looks like a young head coach, and we, coaches have all been there, that is searching.
Looking for what button to push.
And you know what I'd tell you is last March, I felt like there was another head coach, but not a young head coach, that was also searching. Yeah. But he was doing it with different tactics, and that was Michael Malone. And he was doing it with just piss and vinegar and rage. He did it on rage timeouts, post-game pressers where he essentially eviscerated the general state of the locker room and just effort and defense. And what's going to change? Because it's the same. At the end of the day, it's a different style of head coach. It's more analytical. It's more thoughtful, maybe than Michael Malone, that was more emotional, a little bit more relied on experience and gusto, if you will. What's going to change?
Well, I mean, they changed some of the players. They made the Michael Porter Jr. trade. We all thought that was a wonderful deal for the Nuggets, and I still think it's a good deal because I'll get into that. Everybody looks at it and says, well, Cam's not producing, it's a horrible deal. But it's bigger than just Cam Johnson because it allows them some financial flexibility. And what it will lead to be honest with you, down the road, it's going to allow them to retain Peyton Watson if they so desire. Okay. So what you're learning now, if Cam Johnson can't do what's required of him, then the decision is very easy at the end of the season. The decision's already made. Then Peyton Watson moves into Cam Johnson's role.
Easy.
It's a done deal, right? I mean, so we're seeing this unfold before our very eyes. If Cam Johnson can't handle the pressure, the physicality, the length of a season, I don't care, whatever it is, all due respect, they got a guy waiting in the wings that's ready to fulfill that role and take that salary.
All right. Did you want to talk about the MPJ trade? Do you want to throw your 2 cents in about that?
Yeah, I still think it was the right trade. I still think you're not trading the player as much as you're trading the financial flexibility.
You guys realize today was a deadline, and it's come and gone.
Yeah.
And that's the buyout period.
Sure.
So Chris Middleton, nope.
Yeah.
Well, whoever else you wanted,
Yeah.
right? I mean, go down the list of what about this guy? What about that guy? Turns out it's nobody. The only acquisition was KJ Simpson and converting Spencer Jones to a full-time player. That was it.
Yeah, it doesn't bring you much inspiration, does it? It doesn't.
No.
It just doesn't. I mean, at that point, you're like, but that's also a sign that they think they're going to be healthy again. That's also a sign that this week the cavalry returns, and they'll be, if you did bring in a Chris Middleton, where is he going to play if both Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon are healthy? Now, that's a great question. They may know the answer to that.
Has Cam Johnson? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
They wanted Chris Middleton, but Middleton decided to stay in Dallas, and a lot of that probably had to do with playing time.
At this point of the season, has Cam Johnson done enough as a Denver Nugget, not as a part of a massive trade, as a Denver Nugget, to today say that if Peyton Watson were to come back, should not be inserted immediately into the starting lineup?
Listen, I remember one thing that David Adelman said last year, and he said it after his first game he coached, and then he said it again after the second game. And it really resonated with me because you rarely hear this out of young coaches. He said, we're going to play, especially at the end of the games, the players that deserve to be in there. He used the word deserve. And they're not going to be happy if they're not playing, but we're going to play the guys that deserve to be in there. So if you're going to use that logic, and he's the same coach with the same argument, you tell me who deserves to be in there. I think.
Well, all right, let's go through that because Adelman said some guys played hard and some guys didn't. Jokic was pissed off, by the way, and they were getting their stuff together as they were headed off to Utah, so they're catching a plane. So everything was relatively quick. He was bothered. It is always amazing when things are a little bit down or not that great. Jamal tends to be in a better mood than when things are going well. It's very, very quirky. So he's
the biggest enigma I've ever met in pro sports. I don't know how else to describe it.
So anyways,
the only explanation is Canada. He's Canadian, different cat.
Who was trying and who wasn't today then, Vic, in your opinion?
Well, look at the box score. I mean, look at the box score. I mean,
is Strother not trying?
I'm not going to say he wasn't trying. I don't think he was confident in his approach. Put it that way.
All right.
The ball.
Let me give you a quirky one.
Shoot the ball.
Tim Hardaway.
Jamal Murray early. Shoot the ball.
All right. Jonas Valanciunas, was he trying?
Not enough. I mean, I think a wild elbow to the face of Bones Highland is not trying. That's just a wild elbow.
Yeah. I mean, 10 minutes. I mean, he really kind
5 rebounds in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Minus 15 plus minus. By the way, the quirkiest stat line, Tim Hardaway Jr., who had 17 points, 3 or 4 from 3, 5 or 6 from the floor, was minus 17.
Yeah.
How does a guy with 17 points go minus 17?
Cam Johnson needs a little bit of whatever Tim Hardaway eats. That just I'm going to shoot the ball as soon as I touch it mentality.
I mean, if Cam Johnson was hurt, how did he stay on the floor for 23 minutes?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't, after the fact, I don't like hearing that stuff after the fact. I just don't. I don't know how you guys.
Optically not good.
How does that touch you guys? Like,
terribly.
Not
terribly.
good.
Terribly.
Yeah.
I mean,
it sounds like an excuse. And Vic, you said something right there about David Adelman, and this is what I loved about David Adelman when he got into the postseason last year. Is essentially he used the word, deserving, right?
Yeah.
I call that sports should be, regardless of salary, regardless of reputation, should be the greatest meritocracy on planet
100%.
Earth.
100%.
And right now, 23 minutes, 0 points, 0 for 6, 0 for 4 from behind the arc, and in 23 minutes, essentially had 4 rebounds, 3 assists.
Can I give you something else that's scary?
Yeah.
Guess who does know who their team is? That would be the Minnesota Timberwolves, who played 8 guys, 3 guys off the bench.
Yeah.
They know who they are.
And then that tells you everything. The way they approach this game, they approach this game like a playoff game.
Yep. Yep. And then they
did.
have no doubts and by the way, Bones Highland in that mix.
Yeah.
Good for Bones.
Yeah.
So, but that's not a confused team. But again, this wasn't a blowout. It was a blown opportunity because you had a 9-point lead. And it was so weird to be there live to see a 9-point lead go to an 8-point deficit at halftime. It's just like, how does that happen? And then you look at the home record, Vic, 16-12 at home.
No.
What are we doing here?
Now you should be able to run teams off the court coming home, and every time I bring up the home thing, well, the schedule, you're playing away.
The schedule.
They've been playing basketball in Denver for 50 years. I don't want to hear that bullshit about the schedule. It's bullshit when you bring it up. I don't want to hear it. Everybody plays home and then leaves and then comes back. What do you want to just hang out here for 30 days straight?
Then you hear this. The hardest game to win after a road trip is the first game at home.
Why? Your guy Hastings says that all the time, and it drives me freaking crazy. It drives me crazy.
I'm like,
it's hard to win. You just got beat in Oklahoma City, and you didn't like the way that ended. Inspire and win, and I'll give you credit.
And you were doing it. And you were doing it.
They were.
You were doing it.
They were. And then the second unit, the reason the Nuggets lost today is the reserves off the bench blew it in the second quarter.
They were terrible.
Blew it.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And
that's how they lost.
And so now, I guess the only way to win games, you got to split up Jamal and Jokic.
Yeah.
You got to, I don't know. You got to do all that stuff again. By the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but like Joker's been playing the whole first quarter. All right. So I guess you got to take him out with like 2 minutes to go, right? Do all that stuff again, right? Play Jamal with the second unit. I don't know. That Adelman says he doesn't want to do it, but has no more choice.
Well, when Aaron Gordon returns, it'll allow you to play a bigger lineup without Joker.
When's that happening? When's that happening, Vic?
I think Aaron Gordon returns this week. But every time Aaron Gordon jumps, you're going to be holding your breath, aren't you?
Yeah,
of course.
This has been the craziest season. It's been, and I hate to sound so cynical and pessimistic. I'm not. I do think there's time to put it together. Now, how far they can go, I don't know. But think about this season. With everybody healthy, they played the first 10 games with the starting 5. That's it. And that starting 5 went 8-2. A dominant start to the season. And then injuries start happening. Everybody's missing. And you're wondering if it's going to unravel. January was magical.
It was.
They played January without 2 centers, without Joker.
It was the Peyton Watson month, baby.
It was magical. It was like the Tebow run, for crying out loud.
It was the Jamal Murray All-Star, first All-Star.
Yes.
Man, that's what it was.
That's what you go 10-6 in the month of January when
Crazy.
Everyone thought you were going to go 6-10 or worse.
Right.
You went 10-6. And then think about it. Joker's first game back. He throws up a 30-12. They win that game and oh my God, it's great.
Here we go.
And then they've been ass ever since.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, hold on a second. Just a pinch. Yes. But there still are moments like the Boston game.
Like the Portland game.
I mean, there are moments.
Yeah,
Vic.
they're great moments. The Portland game was after that Portland game and I saw them make history offensively, I'm like, okay, we got it. And then they revert.
Yeah.
And people are going to say, yeah, but what about the schedule? Well, the schedule is revealing because this is what you're going to see in the playoffs.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear, what about the schedule? Yeah. What about the schedule? What about the injuries? don't know. Last I checked, Oklahoma City was missing 2 key players too.
So
All
the
right.
reality of the Nuggets situation right now is they're in the Western Conference 5th seed. The Lakers are 1 game back of the Nuggets, and the Lakers are a mess. I know that.
The Lakers could catch them this week. The
Absolutely.
Lakers are coming up next week. Yeah,
And
Thursday.
Phoenix, even though they haven't played great basketball, they're playing like the Nuggets are right now. They're 4-6 at the stretch of their last 10 games. But guys, the Nuggets have 1 more game right now than Phoenix does in their season, and Phoenix is only really 2.5 games out. And so the Nuggets would drop into the play-in.
Isn't it funny how your perspective on a season, like this season has been, for me, I don't know about you guys, it's been laborious. It's been like,
these are hard watches, man.
it's been work, right? It's been work. And that's what happens when you have a championship aspiring team. You're no longer swimming, with all the little fish and just hoping to have fun. Let's have fun and grow. No. There's no fun here. The goal is to win it all. The team was built to win it all. It is the deepest roster in Nuggets history. We've established that.
Yep.
And they're just not there. That's why it's been so hard.
Let me give you a crazy number, though. This is bananas. The Lakers are also 16-12 at home, and they're 19-12 on the road. So the Lakers, like the Nuggets, are better on the road than they are at home.
Yeah.
How about that one?
Well, when you're comparing yourself to the Lakers, then that what are the Lakers? Are the Lakers a championship level squad?
No, but they're 1 game behind the Nuggets, man. They're 1 game behind, and the Nuggets are dancing with the play-in. And then it's weird because you're only 1 game. I'm rolling my eyes. You're 1 game behind Minnesota and 1 game behind Houston. I mean, forget about San Antonio and Oklahoma City. You just don't have enough time. You ran out of time on that.
If you're going to get the 3 seed and catch Houston, you're going to play Houston again. You're going to play a lot of these teams. You're going to play San Antonio twice. You're going to play tough teams. The only way to fix it is to get your gloves on, roll up your sleeves, and you're going to have to beat good teams. And if you can't beat good teams, then that's what you are.
Well, I would say this. Don't be nervous about playing KJ Simpson a little bit, I guess. He wasn't scared the other night. And Jalen Pickett, you got to get him in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to hope for P. Watt and AG to get back. But like the whole starting Strother thing has been weird to me. I mean, he is so completely inconsistent. But
it's crazy because again, his first 6 games, he was fabulous. He was tremendous. He was active, and now it's almost as if he just wants to pass the ball and doesn't want to look for his shot.
Yeah.
You guys, I'll leave you with this.
All right.
Oklahoma City and the way they play. The cheap shot by Lou Dort, Cason Wallace trying to take out Christian Brown as he's dunking. Do you think that's coached, Mike Sanford?
Oh, well, I got something on that. Go ahead.
You think Mark Dagnew, who takes his quarter zip and zips it all the way up to his lips, he's like this. Do you think?
Let me just say, he wasn't making any apologies today, Vic. And Alman before the game was.
Can I say something? Can I say something slightly that makes me a punchable face?
Sure.
I would love to have whatever that is right now
100%.
as a Denver Nugget.
That's what's funny about that. I get into it with all these Oklahoma City fans who say, "Oh, you're soft." I go, "No. Don't misinterpret me. I'm not soft. Your brand of basketball, OKC. If I were there, I would love it because that's what I play. To be honest with you,
yep.
I love it. I love playing, being the guys out there being the hammer and doing whatever it takes. But to deny it and to throw your hands up and say, "Oh," that's what bothers me. Just accept your role, like the old bad. Just accept. Yeah, this is what we are. We're going to pest you. We're going to be feisty. We got dudes that just be that. Mark Dagnew instead plays the, maybe the NBA should start giving out ejections for every trip. I mean, give me that bullshit.
All right, buddy. We'll let you go. Try to rest easy, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on the TV and on the radio, and you can vent some more.
Got to fix this StreamYard. I don't know why it doesn't work on this computer.
Well, you look great on the phone, man. We love you, Vic.
Yeah, that was
I love
good.
you too.
All right, pal. We'll see you. There he goes, Vic Lombardi. Okay.
Is it over?
It's going to be tough. It's not over, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Boy, it's hard. It's hard for me to unsee what I've seen over the last, I don't know, 6 weeks.
By the way, we have another quirky thing going on, and that is the headspace of Nathan McKinnon. Where do you think Nate McKinnon's head is right now?
I think he's on plushies.
Yeah. He needs to just. I don't know how. I hate to be a jerk on this, but just you need to kind of get over it a little bit. Just okay. It sucked. I got you. I get it.
Take it out on take it out on the ice, bro. Take it out on the ice.
But that being said, and I don't know if you noticed it either, Blackwood is now the starter. And they're going to get Wedgwood in there, as Bednar said, when they can. So here we go.
And I think that Nathan McKinnon should be on power play too.
I mean,
Marty Netchis, man.
You know what's a killer?
He needs to be on the ice in that spot that Nathan McKinnon is often occupying.
Put in Nate on power play too. Oh my God. I don't know.
You know what that would be? That would be the second plush toy that Nathan McKinnon will have gotten in a matter of 3 weeks.
I'll just tell you, thank God for Gavin Brindley. And Cale Makar is a good steadying influence too. Kale's
Kale's a dude,
man. I got no beefs there. But and I got no beefs with the Avs, by the way. They're in first
place.
Awesome.
You know why they're awesome?
They got games in hand. Like they're fine.
You know why they're awesome?
What?
Because guess who's back on the ice?
Gabe Landeskog?
No. Gabriel Landeskog.
Gabriel Landeskog. Gabriel Landeskog.
He's back on the ice. And it's all good when he's out there.
All right, I got one last combine thing for you. Just get some analysis of this.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, this is what it's built for.
I just like that he pops his head up. I think you'll see that feathery front kind of pop up a little bit as well to complement.
Flow.
I mean, Coacher. I mean, just talk to me. Oh, you're muted. You got to unmute. Unmute yourself.
Inject all of this into my veins. Is there anything better than a ginger mullet? 312 pounds running the 40-yard.
Unmute yourself again. Unmute yourself. There you go. Sorry.
Anything better than a ginger mullet with quads that would make the gods. It would make the quad god himself jealous.
How legit is he, Jennings Dunker?
Where did he go to college, Darren?
Iowa.
Have you ever heard of a bust offensive lineman from Iowa?
Iowa? No.
You ever seen a guy that crushes Bush Lights and plays offensive line and has a ginger mullet that isn't physical and plays 12 years as a starter in the National Football League?
Well, here are the Kelseys.
Iowa lineman, Jennings Dunker. Check out this beauty.
Somebody's going to get a stud.
Dude, he looks like a Clydesdale. I mean, just look at it. The hair, the mustache, the knee braces.
He does look like a Clydesdale. That's hilarious.
It's unbelievable. Like
He's a majestic man right there.
If you were going to design an offensive lineman in a laboratory, this is what he would look like. I mean, look at this guy.
This is hilarious. How many beers a day do you think this guy drinks?
Probably by the case. He doesn't even count them by the beer.
Just goes like that.
Great minds think alike.
I know. It's so good. All right. Final thoughts about the combine and anything else on your brain or anything else you want to throw in there before?
Yeah. So my final thought: combine was a lot of fun. A whole bunch of extremely impressive speed, jumping, both vertical and broad, height, weight metrics. A highlight for sure was watching Fernando Mendoza look massive with the greatest. He had forearms that were majestic, just like my guy. What is it? Jennings Dunker? Is that right?
Jennings Dunker, Iowa offensive lineman.
His quads are equal to Fernando Mendoza's forearms. And Fernando Mendoza decided to get some calisthenics in with the quarterback group, which was really impressive. 6'5", 236 pounds. That is a monster human being that runs well. He's intelligent.
It's nothing to think about.
But a lot of speed at the running back position, a lot of speed at the tight end position, a lot of speed and size at the receiver position.
There's a lot of good choices where the Broncos should be interested, right?
Absolutely. And you know what excites me the most is that the Denver Broncos are going to draft with pick 30, a slot corner out of the SEC.
All right, Coach. Have a good night.
Like I said, some rah-rah crap. That stuff doesn't go a long way in a 48-minute game.